Morning everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new day. It is Monday morning, 11:19 to be exact, and I'm gonna just start making lunch now. We didn't have breakfast today. We're just gonna have lunch. I'm gonna take some of this ground beef and make some hamburger patties, and then I'm gonna make some mac and cheese. It's just boxed mac and cheese we have from the pantry, so I want to use all that stuff up. And then that'll be what we eat right now. And then after we eat, I'm going to make a sombrero salad. And because I have a couple things left over from the last time I made a sombrero salad, I still have a red bell pepper to use up. I have the Western dressing. And if some of you don't remember what that sombrero salad was, or if you're new, stay tuned to see what that is. So, and then we'll have that to eat throughout the day if we want to. And then okay, so I've got my hamburger semi-patties. I've got them rolled into a ball, and I'm going to flatten them out in two patties. What I like to do is just put a piece of parchment paper on top and take this. This is the bigger griddle, stovetop griddle, and this is the miniature one. So you can see the size difference. And I just like to flatten them out like this. Use it as a flattener. Push way down, and there you have a hamburger patty. So that's how I like to do it. Well, I probably should have done it as flat, but that's okay. And then I just put a dimple in the middle, and that keeps the juices in case you didn't know that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I might not make it as thin. So yeah, that should be good. So, all right. So that's all I like to do. I did season the meat as I was mixing it, but I'll put a little bit more pepper and onion powder on top. So, all right. So I'm just going to cook this up. I've got now, in the past, you've seen me just do hamburgers on the George Foreman, and I don't always like to use the George Foreman, and the reason why is you can't regulate the heat. It's just one heat. And if you're not paying attention, your hamburgers will be overdone. So I've done that plenty of times. So I'm going to do them on the stovetop where I can regulate the heat and try to time it right with the cooking of the mac and cheese. So that's why I'm doing it on the stovetop. All right, everyone. So mac and cheese is done. Hamburgers just got done. So time's pretty good. All right, so there's our lunch. I thought we'd try these little Dole fruit cups, diced peaches. We got these at the pantry as well. So actually, this is a full pantry lunch. Mac and cheese is from the pantry. The hamburger meat's from the pantry. These are from the pantry. So I'm guessing Glenn might want one of his hot sauces. So that's our lunch, and stay tuned for the sombrero salad. All right, everyone, so we are done eating lunch. It's almost 2 o'clock now, so we've been done for a while. We've just been doing other things. I put my bird cams out. And even after lunch, we each had a Yoplait to eat. If you recall, in the last Aldi haul, I bought Glenn mint Chobani, where one dips into the other. Well, he didn't think it was that good, and he's a pretty good mint person, so yeah, thankfully I only bought one, and I only did that so he could try it to see if I would buy him again. So would not do that again. So now it's time to make the sombrero salad. Now all of this, we use the Western dressing, and we don't have like a whole bottle of it. So a lot of it is using the leftovers from making it the first time. So we have a box of Rotel noodles, and they look much like rotini noodles, I think, but they're Rotel. This is a pretty big can of olives, black olives. I'll just slice them and refrigerate the rest. I'm going to use some taco seasoning, some fresh tomatoes, a block of cheese. I've got sharp cheddar, and this has already been opened. So again, I'm using a lot of stuff that needs to be used up. And this red bell pepper I got when I made sombrero salad the last time, and I've kept it in our hallway where it stays pretty cool in there through the winter, so the produce stays fresh longer in there. So it's a little wrinkly on this side, but I'm going to chop it up and saute it so it gets a little softer, and then cook it with the ground beef. Yeah, the only thing not pictured here is the ground beef. I'm going to use a pound of ground beef. And our sauce, the last time I made this, a lot of you have never heard of Western dressing and asked what it was comparable to. And it is much like classic Catalina. Western dressing has a little more zest in it. So what we're going to do, because we don't have a lot of Catalina either. So yeah, again, we're just using up stuff to get it used. So when I make the ground beef and get everything mixed together, I'm going to take a little bit out and put Catalina in it and see how it tastes versus Western dressing. So yeah, it's a sweet and smooth, and Catalina is probably the best comparable dressing to it. So all right, so I'm going to go ahead and cube up the cheese, slice the black olives, cut up fresh tomatoes, and cut up the bell pepper and get these sauteing. And I'll be back when we're basically making everything, okay? So stay tuned. All right, everyone, so I just got done cutting up the red bell pepper, and I've got it in the frying pan sauteing. And the last time I made the sombrero salad, I left the bell peppers a little too crunchy still. So I want to saute them before I throw them in with the ground beef, or throw the ground beef in with the red peppers. So the thing I love about this tempered glass cutting board, besides the obvious, the beautiful picture of all my backyard birds, when I saw this thing, for those of you that are new, I'm a big bird watcher. That's my most favorite thing to do, is bird watch, besides fishing and camping. But last summer when we went camping, we took a ride to a Mennonite store, which somebody told us they had good sandwiches and things like that. So we did buy the sandwiches, and they were good. Glenn especially loved them. But I saw this. They had a bunch of different designs of tempered glass cutting boards. And as soon as I saw this particular picture, there were other pictures of backyard birds, or just birds. And as soon as I saw this one, I knew this one was for me. So I don't use it all the time, but I do use it on occasion. And the reason I love using it is, like I said, I just got done with the red bell pepper, and all I got to do is take a little piece of paper towel, wipe it down, and dry it off, or let it dry, and it's ready to use for the next thing. So yeah, I love this thing. I'm going to figure out a way to get this, take a picture of the picture and print it out or something, because I just absolutely love this. I thought about trying to figure a way to hang this up, but I'd be so afraid that it would fall and break. And this was only like $12. So hopefully if we go camping again this summer, we hit that Mennonite store again, and maybe I'll find another one. I do have another one, but it's of wolves. So I use that one for my meat cutting. So since wolves are meat eaters, I use that one for meats. And this one for fruits and vegetables. So, all right. So I'm going to get to cutting my next thing, which is going to be the tomatoes, olives, and the cheese. All right, everyone, so the ground beef is done, and this time versus last time I made it in bigger chunks. This time we made it more like a taco texture, smaller bits. So now what I'm going to do is add some water to this. And then add in my taco seasoning. And just like you would if you're making taco meat, But then I'm going to add my red bell peppers back in it and just let it simmer for a bit. I've got the water going for the rotel noodles. You can see over here I've got everything cut up, tomatoes, olives, and cheese. I'm going to add my peppers. I sauteed them so they were more soft this time. And what I'll do is I'll leave a link to that video where I made it. I don't know if it was like a month ago. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below so you could see. I'm pretty much going over the same thing though. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the stove, cover it so it can simmer a little bit, and put it on a lower heat because the meat is done. Alright, and that's all there is to that. When the noodles are done, we'll rinse them out in cold water. So again, as I said in the last video where I made this, you want this to be cool, more like a room temperature kind of meal. So alright, I'm going to cover this and get it back on the stove. Alright everyone, so you can see the taco meat with the red bell peppers. That looks really pretty when the red bell peppers are in there. So I can actually just turn this off now because I don't want it really hot when I'm ready to throw everything together. So now I'm just going to turn this off and wait for the noodles to get done. Alright everyone, so my noodles are done. And I've got them in the colander here in the sink. And what I'm going to do is rinse them with cold water. So I'm just going to use the sprayer here. Last time I used the sprayer, I splashed myself really good. I was putting it back in where it sits. And I was holding the pressure thing where you press it to spray. It sprayed across the sink right onto my shirt. It was so funny. So I'm just going to get it to where these are cold or cool. Yeah, and they're there already. Alright, now we're going to get them back in the pot. Alright, so I have my noodles back in the pot. I did let the pot cool off for a few minutes and now it's colder. So I'm going to add the taco meat now. That taco meat looks so good with those red bell peppers. I keep saying that, but it's true. Maybe next time I make tacos, maybe I'll put some bell peppers in it. I don't know. Alright, we're going to mix this up. And again, just saying from my last video, last time I made this, this is a recipe that came from Piggly Wiggly, where Glenn's sister worked years and years and upteen years ago. She always brought the recipes home. That's where we came up with a couple of our salads, like this one. And supper salad that we made recently. So now I'm going to throw in the tomatoes. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera. The olives and the cheese. I did let that taco meat cool off, so it's not hot at all right now. Just mix all this together. And this is where you would put in your Western dressing, but remember we're going to take out just a little bit to test it with Catalina. I'm surprised we haven't done that before. If we did, I don't remember. Alright. Yep, this is just lukewarm, and that's how you want to eat it. When you take it out of the, you don't want to warm it up. You don't want to eat it right out of the refrigerator. You just want to let it set out and get at room temperature. It tastes best that way. So, all right, I'm going to get a plate, put a little bit in there, and put some Catalina, because Catalina, again, is the closest thing to Western dressing. Okay, so I went ahead and put Catalina in it, and I already did a taste test, but I forgot to push record. So here I go again. It tastes good, actually. Yeah, just it's a good alternative to Western dressing. Western dressing just has that tinge of tardiness, and the Catalina does not. So I'm gonna take some to Glenn. He's napping. I'm gonna see if he wants to try it. See what he likes better. I would take either. Okay, so we both tasted it, and I said it was good, and it is. There's nothing wrong with it. There's just not as much flavor as a Western dressing. It doesn't have that zest to it, but it's not horrible. I would eat it that way. What, babe? Horrible. Glenn says it's horrible. I don't think it's horrible. But, you know, everybody has their different taste. So yeah, I would probably prefer the Western dressing over the Catalina. But like I said, if it came down to it and there was no Western dressing, I would eat Catalina. So I'm just going to pour some Catalina in here. But might have to save some because this is all we have. I might have to get some more tomorrow. So this would be your last step, is pouring in the Western dressing. And that's what I'm going to pour in right now. And then I'm going to tip this upside down so we get the rest of it later on. And then you just mix it in there. And that's all there is to a sombrero salad. And I think I'm going to make those, last time I went to, not this last time, but when I had an Aldi haul a couple times ago, I bought a tube of cinnamon rolls from there, so I think I'll make those tonight. Alright, so that's it for now, and stay tuned for whatever's next. Alright everyone, so I am going to make these cinnamon rolls from Aldi. Somebody said they were really good. I think a couple people said that, so we're going to try them for the first time to see how they are versus Pillsbury. I know Glenn isn't crazy about Pillsbury anything, so hopefully these are good. He'll have some coffee with it a little later on. So I'm going to get these opened up and put in the pie pan, and I've already got the oven heated to 400. Alright everyone, so this is the sombrero salad. What we decided to do, last time when we made it, we remembered we talked about making it the night before and letting it sit overnight so the flavors just all come together. So that's what we're doing. We just poured the rest of the Western dressing in there, mixed it up, and I will have to go get some tomorrow, just a small jar or a small bottle, and we'll have this tomorrow after it sits overnight. We weren't very hungry earlier, we just had a little bit, and now I'm just making the cinnamon rolls. Alright, so this afternoon for lunch we just had a frozen pizza that we got from the pantry last week. And we just threw some mushrooms on half of it for Glenn. And that was our lunch. Alright, so now this Wednesday afternoon, I decided to make some snickerdoodle and sugar cookies using the cream of tartar that we received from the pantry. So I'll go ahead and put the recipe for this cookie, or these cookies. I'm using the same dough for both cookies. And I'll put the recipe in the description below. So, and I'll let you know if the cream of tartar made a difference in how the cookies came out versus the last time I made them. So that'll be in the description below. And otherwise, I'll just show the video of me making the dough. All right, everyone. So today I went shopping in our freezer in the garage, and I took out pork shoulder butt roast, and I'll put that in the slow cooker during the early morning hours so we can have carnitas in the morning. And then I took out a half slab of ribs for tomorrow night's supper, and half a ring bologna, which we're going to have tonight. So I took all this out, just trying to prep for some meals for the next days. And then, yeah, tomorrow we'll have the ribs. And then tomorrow I'll go take something else out for the following day. So, and we actually have one more, even after this one more pork shoulder butt roast. So, we need some of these roasts to go on sale again so we can stock back up on them. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to live life, be good to yourself, and be good to others. Until next time.